Welcome to our deep dive into the life of Johnny Depp. You know, you wanted to understand the man behind the headlines, right?
Mhm.
The person behind that Jack Sparrow persona.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
to the good one.
From Kentucky to Hollywood. I mean,
It's
his journey has been anything but predictable.
it really hasn't. And that's what makes it, so captivating. It's not your typical Hollywood, success story.
Right.
Understanding his beginnings, the unconventional path, right? I mean, that he carved, I think, is crucial to grasping like the essence of Johnny Depp.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's start at the very beginning. Owensboro, Kentucky.
Okay.
Not exactly the place you'd associate with a Hollywood superstar, right?
Right.
What's striking is that his family moved, like, over 20 times before finally settling in Florida. I mean, that's got to leave a mark, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Constant upheaval like that can create, I think, a yearning for stability, right? A search for something solid in a world that just feels constantly shifting. And it's possible this early instability, fueled a desire for transformation,
Yeah.
a need to kind of like escape, which we see later in his attraction to acting and his choice of like unconventional roles.
Right. And then there's his relationship with his mother, Betty Sue. Sources paint her as kind of a complex figure,
Mm-hmm.
a strong influence.
Yeah.
But their relationship seems to have been turbulent, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's a common thread, I think, we see with many artists. The complicated relationship, right, with a parent, particularly a mother,
Right.
can be a source of both pain and inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can fuel a drive to prove oneself, to seek validation through creative expression.
Yeah.
Perhaps those early experiences, shaped Depp's need to explore different identities, to inhabit characters far removed from his own reality.
It's interesting you say that because despite all the moving around, like, Depp wasn't a bad student.
Right.
He just wasn't engaged.
Mhm.
What really captivated him was music. He got a guitar from his mom when he was just 12, taught himself to play, and even formed a band, The Kids, in his teens. Talk about a classic tale of teenage rebellion, dropping out of school at 16 to chase the rock star dream.
Yeah, classic. Music can be an incredibly powerful outlet, especially for those who struggle to fit in or, find their voice in conventional ways. It provides a platform for self-expression, for connecting with others who share similar passions.
And the Kids weren't just like garage band dreamers.
Right.
They opened for some pretty impressive acts. Talking Heads, the B-52s. That shows a real hunger for something more, a refusal to settle for the ordinary.
Yeah. It's almost as if he was searching for a space to belong,
Yeah.
a community that embraced his unique perspective. And I think that search for identity and belonging is kind of a recurring theme, in Depp's life.
Yeah, for sure. So the bands moved to L.A. to chase a record deal. Didn't pan out as planned. And Depp found himself struggling to make ends meet, taking odd jobs like telemarketing and even working as a mechanic.
Wow.
Quite a contrast to the Hollywood life that awaited him.
You think about that. I mean, those early struggles, the experience of being a regular guy working regular jobs
Right.
may have grounded him in a way that, shielded him from the potential pitfalls of sudden fame later on. It's fascinating to think how those experiences might have shaped his perspective on success and the trappings of Hollywood.
Yeah, and it's during this period that he met his first wife, Lori Ann Allison.
Okay.
And here's where a seemingly random connection completely alters his trajectory. She introduced him to Nicolas Cage, and Cage, recognizing something special in Depp, encouraged him to try acting.
Wow, what a pivotal moment, right? Cage's encouragement, that validation from someone already established in the industry, could have been like the catalyst that sparked Depp's belief in himself as an actor.
Right. And it's not like he just stumbled into acting, right? It seems he saw it as another creative avenue, perhaps a new form of escape,
Hmm.
a way to step into different skins and explore different realities.
Yeah. It's interesting to consider, like, how Depp might have viewed acting,
Yeah.
Perhaps it appealed to his desire for transformation,
Okay.
for shedding his own skin and becoming someone else entirely.
His first role was in I, Mare on Elm Street.
Mm.
A small part, but a huge step.
Yeah, even in this early role, we see, like, Depp's tendency to choose the unconventional. A Nightmare on Elm Street is hardly your typical Hollywood debut. There's a sense of him being drawn to, like, the darker, the edgier. the roles that defy categorization.
Right. Yeah, and from there, things started to move quickly.
But not in a straightforward way, which makes his story all the more intriguing.
Right, it wasn't like a meteoric rise.
Mhm.
He found success with 21 Jump Street,
Yeah.
becoming a teen idol.
Mhm.
But it was a label he famously disliked. That, like, pretty boy image,
Yeah.
the heartthrob status, it didn't sit well with him. Do you think that resistance to being pigeonholed fueled his desire to take on more challenging, less conventional roles?
Absolutely. Early typecasting can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It brings fame and opportunity, but it can also stifle, an actor's growth and limit their range. Depp clearly wasn't content with being just like a pretty face. He craved something deeper, something that would allow him to truly showcase his talent and explore the full spectrum of human emotion.
And that's where Tim Burton enters the picture.
Oh, yeah. The Burton-Depp collaboration, it's a cinematic treasure trove. It's where Depp, truly found his artistic voice, his ability to embody characters that were both whimsical and profound.
Right. Their first film together, Edward Scissorhands, was a critical and commercial success. Depp's portrayal of Edward, this vulnerable, isolated figure, resonated with audiences worldwide. Do you think Depp's own experiences with feeling like an outsider, a misfit, informed his performance?
It's certainly possible. I mean, great actors often draw from their own lives, right? Their
Yeah.
own experiences of pain and joy to create characters that, feel authentic and relatable. Perhaps Depp tapped into that sense of isolation, of yearning for connection to bring Edward Scissorhands to life with such poignancy,
Yeah. It's a fascinating thought. And from there, Depp continued to choose roles that defied expectations. Ed Wood, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Donnie Brasco. It's like he was deliberately avoiding the mainstream, the predictable.
Right. And this is where we see Depp solidify his reputation as serious actor,
Right.
a risk taker who wasn't afraid to kind of delve into the darkness, to explore the fringes of human experience.
Yeah.
These weren't just roles, they were transformations.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing characters, he was becoming them.
Right. And while all this was happening professionally, his personal life was also undergoing significant shifts.
Yeah. This is a period of intense romantic entanglements, a search for love and connection that mirrored the intensity of his, on-screen performances.
He had high-profile relationships with Winona Ryder and Kate Moss,
Right.
both tumultuous and ultimately short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
But then he met Vanessa Paradis, and their relationship seemed to bring a different kind of stability to his life.
Yeah. It's almost as if he found a haven,
Yeah.
a sanctuary with Parody. Their relationship was more private, more grounded. They had 2 children together, and Depp often spoke about how fatherhood profoundly changed him, gave him a sense of purpose and responsibility he hadn't experienced before.
He even relocated to France with Paradis, seemingly seeking a quieter life away from the Hollywood whirlwind. Could it be that Depp, after years of searching for stability, finally found it in the role of a father and partner?
It's certainly a possibility, The need for connection, for belonging, is deeply human. Perhaps Depp found that fulfillment in his family life, in the creation of a space where he could, shed the mask of celebrity and simply be himself.
And speaking of masks, let's talk about the role that would propel him to a whole new level of fame, a role that would become synonymous with his name.
Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ah, yes. This is where Depp's, genius for embodying the unconventional truly shines. Captain Jack Sparrow is a character unlike any other. A swashbuckling pirate with a touch of madness, a blend of swagger and vulnerability.
Audiences around the world fell in love with Captain Jack.
Oh, yeah.
He was funny, he was charming, he was unpredictable, and he was completely unlike anything anyone had seen before.
Right.
How did Depp create such an iconic character?
It's a testament to his willingness to take risks, to kind of push the boundaries of what's expected. Depp infused Captain Jack with his own unique blend of, humor, physicality, and emotional depth. He didn't just play a pirate. He, redefined what a pirate could be.
And while Pirates made him a global superstar, he never seemed to fully embrace the blockbuster machine. He continued to seek out smaller, independent projects.
Right.
Roles that allowed him to explore different facets of his talent.
Yeah, that speaks to, I think, a certain artistic integrity,
Yeah.
a refusal to be confined to one genre or one type of character. He wasn't afraid to take risks, even when they meant stepping away from the guaranteed success of a franchise.
But as we know, fame comes with a price. And for Depp, those shadows were about to creep in.
Yeah, the pressures of stardom, the relentless scrutiny of the media can take a toll on anyone,
Yeah.
especially someone who, like, values privacy and struggles with personal demons.
That's what we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive. We'll explore the darker chapters of Depp's life, the battles with addiction, the controversies that threatened to overshadow his career, and the legal battles that consumed years of his life.
Yeah.
It's a journey that reveals the complexities of fame and the fragility of even the brightest stars.
Fame can be a double-edged sword.
Right.
It can bring adoration and fortune,
Yeah.
but it also casts this, like, harsh light,
Yeah.
amplifying every misstep and struggle.
It's like living under a microscope, every
Yeah.
flaw magnified for the world to see.
Exactly.
And Depp, with his history of, battling personal demons,
Yeah.
seemed particularly vulnerable to, like, the darker side of fame.
Yeah. The rock and roll lifestyle combined with, the excesses of Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
can be a dangerous cocktail.
Right.
And Depp was open about his struggles with addiction.
Right.
His battles with substance abuse.
There were also, like, reports of lavish spending millions on wine, luxury properties, even a private island.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a far cry from those early days in L.A., struggling to pay the rent.
Oh, for sure. It's a common pitfall, for
Right.
those who achieve, like, sudden wealth and fame. The lines between reality and fantasy, they just kind of blur, leading to impulsive decisions and detachment from the consequences.
Yeah, and let's not forget the media's fascination with, celebrity downfall.
Oh, yeah.
Depp's struggles became like tabloid fodder,
Right.
fueling this narrative of a star spiraling out of control.
The media loves a dramatic arc.
Yeah.
The rise, the fall, the
Yeah.
potential redemption, and negativity often sells better than positivity.
Of course.
Depp's personal challenges, they became a public spectacle, overshadowing his artistic achievements.
Right. And then there's the relationship with Amber Heard, a chapter that dominated headlines and cast a long shadow over Depp's life and career.
Yeah, it's a complex and sensitive topic. Right.
And it's important to approach it with nuance and a commitment to understanding the full picture. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're not here to, take sides or rehash the allegations.
Right.
But to examine the impact this relationship and the subsequent legal battles had on, Depp's trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship was volatile from the start, ending in a very public, very messy divorce.
Right.
Both Depp and Heard accused each other of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And the details of their relationship, became a media frenzy.
The public was bombarded with, like, conflicting narratives,
Right.
making it difficult to discern the truth.
For sure.
And the legal battles, one in the UK and one in the US, add another layer of complexity.
Absolutely. The UK libel case, which Depp brought against a tabloid that labeled him a wife-beater, resulted in a loss for Depp.
Right.
However, the U.S. defamation trial, where Depp sued, Heard for an op-ed she wrote about domestic abuse, found in Depp's favor. Right? So different, like, legal outcomes, right?
Yeah.
But the damage to Depp's reputation had already been done.
Oh, absolutely. These high-profile trials, regardless of their outcomes, brought intense scrutiny and sparked, widespread debate about domestic abuse, the power of the #MeToo movement, and the influence of social media on public perception.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
the trials, the accusations, the media frenzy, I mean, it had a significant impact on Depp's career.
It did.
He was removed from the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Right.
A major blow, I mean, considering the success of those films.
Yeah, it's a harsh reality in Hollywood, Studios are wary of controversy,
Right.
and in such situations, they often prioritize protecting their brand,
Right.
even if it means, like, severing ties with a talented actor.
And to add fuel to the fire,
Yeah.
there were also allegations of, like, financial mismanagement by Depp's own team.
Oh, wow.
It seemed like everything was unraveling at once.
It was like a perfect storm,
Ah.
of personal turmoil, professional setbacks, and just this relentless media scrutiny.
But here's what's interesting. Depp didn't disappear.
Right.
He didn't retreat from the public eye or wallow in self-pity.
Right.
He, like, channeled his energy into his art, seeking solace and expression through his music and his continued pursuit of acting roles.
Yeah. That speaks to a deep resilience,
Yeah.
a refusal to be defined by his circumstances.
Yeah.
He turned to his passions, right, using them as a lifeline, during like a turbulent time.
Right. He reunited with his band, Hollywood Vampires,
Okay.
embarking on extensive tours. It was a return to his roots, to a form of expression that had always brought him joy and a sense of belonging.
Right. It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times,
Yeah.
art can be a source of healing,
Yeah.
a way to process pain and find meaning. Depp's music became his refuge,
Yeah.
his way of connecting with fans and expressing emotions that, words couldn't capture.
Yeah. And he didn't abandon acting either. He made a conscious decision to, shift his focus, stepping away from the world of blockbusters and immersing himself in smaller, independent projects like the film Minamata, a biographical drama about a photojournalist who exposed corporate wrongdoing.
Interesting. Yeah, this choice, reflects a desire to reclaim his kind of artistic narrative,
Right.
to align himself with projects that resonated with his values and his commitment to using his platform for something more than just entertainment.
It's almost like he was saying, I'm not defined by the headlines.
Right.
I'm an artist, and I'm going to keep creating, exploring, and pushing boundaries.
Yeah. It's a powerful statement, a testament to his enduring passion and his refusal to be silenced by controversy.
And his fans, a fiercely loyal and vocal group, stood by him throughout this tumultuous period.
Yeah.
They rallied around him, defending him online, attending his concerts, and celebrating his creative endeavors.
Right. That unwavering support, the sense of community and understanding, he found in his fan base,
Yeah.
undoubtedly played a role in his ability to weather the storm.
Yeah.
It's a reminder of the power of connection, of the importance of finding people who believe in you, even when you're struggling to believe in yourself.
Right. Depp's story is a complex tapestry of triumphs and struggles, artistic brilliance, and personal demons.
It is.
It's a reminder that fame is a fickle mistress, capable of both elevating and destroying.
Absolutely. And it raises crucial questions,
Right.
about the price of artistic freedom, the relentless scrutiny of the public eye, and the possibility of redemption in a world that often relishes in celebrity downfall.
We'll delve into those questions and explore what the future holds for Johnny Depp in the final part of our deep dive. We've journeyed through the highs and lows of Johnny Depp's life, from his unconventional beginnings to his global stardom, and the controversies that have threatened to kind of eclipse his legacy. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
It really has. Depp's story, it's a testament to the complexities of fame, the allure and danger of living in the public eye, and the enduring power of artistic expression.
We've explored his artistic choices, his personal battles, his fierce determination to stay true to himself, even amidst immense pressure. But what does it all mean? What are the lasting takeaways from Depp's journey?
One of the most striking aspects of, Depp's story, I think, is his unwavering commitment to authenticity. He's never been afraid to be different, to embrace the quirky and the unconventional, both in his roles and in his life.
He seems to have this innate aversion to being put in a box, to being defined by a single label. It's like he's constantly pushing boundaries, challenging expectations.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so fascinating, I think, as an artist and as a human being. He embodies a spirit of individuality, a refusal to conform to societal norms or industry expectations. And that resonates deeply with his fans, many of whom feel similarly drawn to the fringes, to the unconventional.
It's almost like he gives permission to be yourself, to embrace your quirks and imperfections, to celebrate what makes you unique.
Exactly. In a world that often pressures us to conform,
Yeah.
Depp's unapologetic individuality is a breath of fresh air. He reminds us that it's okay to be different, to stand out from the crowd, to forge your own path.
And he's done it with such style, with his captivating blend of charisma and vulnerability.
Yeah, and let's not forget his resilience.
Right.
Depp has weathered countless storms, both personal and professional. He's faced addiction, heartbreak, financial turmoil, and public scrutiny that would crush many others. But he's always found a way to get back up, to dust himself off and keep creating.
It's like he has this incredible inner strength, this ability to kind of bounce back from adversity stronger than before.
Yeah. His story is a powerful testament to the human capacity for resilience,
Yeah.
for overcoming challenges and emerging from difficult experiences with a renewed sense of purpose. He reminds us that even in the face of immense hardship, You know, we have the power to choose how we respond, to find meaning in the midst of chaos and to keep moving forward.
And there's a sense of like humility in his story too,
Yeah.
He's owned up to his mistakes, acknowledged his flaws, and continued to evolve as an individual.
Yeah. There's no pretense of perfection,
Mm.
no attempt to gloss over the darker chapters of his life. He's embraced the messiness, the imperfections, and that makes him like all the more relatable, all the more human.
It's like he's saying, I'm a work in progress, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And that vulnerability, that willingness to show his flaws is what makes him so endearing to his fans.
Right. It's a powerful reminder that we're all on a journey, that we're all constantly learning and growing. And it's okay to make mistakes, to stumble along the way, as long as we're willing to learn from those experiences and strive to be, better versions of ourselves.
Depp's story also raises, some profound questions about the nature of fame and the price of artistic freedom.
Mm.
He's achieved a level of success that most people can only dream of, but it's come at a considerable cost.
Yeah. Fame is a double-edged sword.
Right.
It can bring adoration, fortune, and opportunities that would otherwise be unimaginable.
Right.
But it also comes with a loss of privacy, relentless scrutiny, and the constant pressure to maintain a certain image.
It's like he's lived his life under a microscope,
Mm-hmm.
with every move dissected and analyzed by the media and the public.
And for someone like Depp, who values his individuality and his creative expression so deeply, that level of scrutiny can be suffocating. It can lead to a sense of isolation, a feeling of being trapped in a gilded cage.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are we willing to sacrifice for our dreams? How much of ourselves are we willing to give up in pursuit of, success?
It's a question that every artist, every individual who seeks to live a life true to themselves has to grapple with. There are no easy answers, no guarantees. But Depp's story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the importance of finding a balance between our public personas and our private lives,
Right.
between our ambitions and our need for authenticity and connection.
And in recent years, we've seen Depp, make a conscious effort to step back from the spotlight,
Mhm.
to focus on projects that align with his values and his desire for artistic exploration.
Yeah, his choice to prioritize smaller independent films over big budget blockbusters
Right.
suggests, I think, a shift in priorities, a desire to reclaim his narrative and redefine success on his own terms.
It's like he's saying, I'm not chasing fame anymore. I'm chasing fulfillment, artistic expression, and connection with those who truly appreciate my work.
Right. And that's a powerful message, especially in a world that often equates success with material wealth and external validation. Depp's recent choices, I think, reflect a deeper understanding of what truly matters, a recognition that genuine happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external accolades or the fickle whims of public opinion.
So where does Johnny Depp go from here? What will his legacy ultimately be?
It's a question that only time can answer.
Right.
But one thing is certain. Depp's story is far from over.
Right.
He remains, a captivating figure, a talented artist, and a complex individual whose life and work continue to, spark debate, inspire reflection, and challenge our perceptions of fame, creativity, and the human condition.
His journey has been a roller coaster ride,
It has.
full of twists and turns, moments of brilliance and moments of darkness.
Yeah.
But throughout it all, he's remained true to his artistic vision, his rebellious spirit, and his unwavering commitment to authenticity.
And that's a legacy worth celebrating, a reminder that even in a world that often prizes conformity, it's possible to forge your own path, embrace your individuality, and create art that resonates deeply with others.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the life of Johnny Depp. A complex, compelling, and ultimately unfinished story.
Yeah.
We hope you've gained a deeper understanding of the man behind the headlines, the artist behind the characters, and the human being behind the legend.
It's a story that invites us, to reflect on our own values, our own definitions of success, and the importance of staying true to ourselves even when the world is watching.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.